Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature somewhere. I'm just trying to get the right light here. I thought I had it. But anyway, make sure you're getting out in nature somewhere. And, whoops, sorry. I got to get this right here. Let's see, it's so hard to tell because I get a glare on my phone. But Starlight has got her goodies in her car heating up for today. I got testing some things out in my dashboard. I'm like, okay, how am I going to know until I try these things out? But besides, Starlight is getting her dinner ready at what time in the day? You know, like I got to cook ahead of time. But anyway, is make sure you get out in nature. Besides, protect your skin, you know, if you're out in weather like Starlight, you know, like today is not going to be that hot. Yesterday was a cool day in the 70s, and today is going to be still in the 70s, so I will take it though. I love this kind of weather. So I do have my sunscreen on because I'm going to be out in open places, and it's so important to protect your skin if you're out in a lot of sunlight, you know, and try to always balance, you know, back and forth to sun and shade, because I do know some people, or did know a person that did get some skin cancer, and it was horrible what this man went through. He loved the ocean, you know, he was an older man, like a father figure, but anyway, besides protecting your skin and making sure you get plenty of water, and Starlight has that, is if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you could find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Plus, don't forget the notification bell like Starlight almost did. And check out my playlist. Don't forget those, is you never know what Starlight is talking about on some of those. You know, so I do have full moon. I just did a full moon yesterday, which kind of got out later than I wanted. I was having a hard time uploading that baby. And anyway, is also you can also follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So I wanted to make that video. I've been wanting to make that fun video, but every time I go to the park, and I love when people come out. I'm not complaining about that, but the spot that I wanted to make the video, people go there at the time that I'm thinking about starting the video. So I will get that fun video out for you. We will have a lot of fun when that one comes out, and I don't want to give any clues away. So anyway, here we are. I did go on a hiking trip with a man a while back, and I didn't know this was the same place, but I seen something on the pictures for this hiking trail, and we didn't see that when we came out here, so I wanted to make a video out here anyway and see if I can find how this lady took a picture of something out here. I'm hoping that I can find that today so I can study and see what it is all about. So anyway, here we go. This is the Walton Scrub Preserve out here in Florida somewhere. So here we go. And I gotta figure out, where did that lady get that picture, because Starlight is a curious George type of person, always been like that. Starlight has always been taking things apart, and really physically too. I love trying to figure out how what makes things work. You know, I definitely have both the male and female in me, and that's not what this topic is about though. For this video, is I feel pretty balanced as far as being that feminine and masculine, as far as my life goes. Some areas are a little weak, and I still got to work on that. But anyway, is today I wanted to reach out to you because people go through a lot of stuff. We all go through stuff from childhood, you know, growing up, maybe, you know, with your brothers or sisters, because, you know, it's not only the boys that can be, well, I'm going to be nice. I don't want to say the wrong word here, you know. It's not just the boys that can be like bullying, you know. Sisters can, I didn't have that problem because my sister, I love her so much. I was like her mommy, you know. I always kind of almost get her mixed up and say that she was my daughter because I really was like a full-time mom at a very young age, bringing her up. And so my sister, because she had you know, she was handicapped, could not see, so I didn't have issues. I loved my sister like I love my own two kids, you know. So but maybe you've been bullied, you know, either at home or at school, or even, you know, maybe at the neighborhood somewhere, or maybe even growing up. So this is a video about things that get you upset. So I'm just trying to feel you out a little bit and see what really resonates with you as far as, you know, where people can get you upset, get you angry, you know. So like that's one way that we can get upset with either kids when we were younger, or, you know, where it definitely can affect you for your rest of your life when if you've been bullied, or maybe somebody called you names and it really hurt your feelings, and you cried about, you know, those things. And some of you are men that are watching this, and guys, you know, I do want to make a video another time, but it's not just for girls to cry. You know, there's some really, I see some stuff out in public, you know. One of these days I'm going to get bold enough, because sometimes I feel it's not my place, but it is my place. If I see little children or even adults being abused out in public, I don't want to turn a blind eye. I recently did, you know, see something a while back, you know, about how a mother was being so abusive to her teenager daughter out in public, yelling and screaming and flipping out. I don't know if she was on any medications. I don't know what the story was. All I know is that it was a breakup with the family because the daughter has to go back and forth to the dad and mom, you know. And it was a horrible scene that I witnessed. And you know, and I know I wasn't the only one that heard what was going on, but you know, it was kind of weird because nobody was paying attention, but it got my attention. It really did. You know, I know it's none of my business, you know, when, you know, there's stuff like that, because I'm not a part of the family. But you know what? It is my business, because there's no reason, you know, for the things that was going on with that teenage girl, you know. And teenagers go through a lot, but I'm not here to talk about that. Is that sometimes, you know, we're taught, like, and I just seen how rough father was treating his little boy the other day, and it really stirs some things up in my inside of me. It really does. I really have a hard time seeing any of that stuff out in public, you know. And you definitely have had to seen different things out in public yourself, you know. Some of you may never have seen that, or maybe you've been that child yourself where you're not being, you know, treated with love and patience and care and all that, you know. So Starlight definitely has an issue, and I pray that the universe will help me not to just sit and watch something, is that I will protect those kids one way or another, or even adults. That's when, you know, I have to be careful, because with Starlight, I've had spiritual awakenings before, and I could really, something like that could possibly trigger Starlight to go into a spiritual awakening, where I don't want to see abuse in my eyes, you know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. And at the same time, I don't want to just act like I didn't see it and not report it, you know. Sometimes that's what we need to do is, you know, maybe you don't know what to do, but really to call the cops up and say, you know, that should be the first thing to do, is say, hey, you know, I'm concerned. This is going on out in public. But I have to say, this is of course, you're like a train track here, Starlight. What does it mean when you see a train track? So sometimes the officers don't do nothing, you know, and I've seen that over and over and over and over and over and over again in my life, where they don't do anything. So, but you know, at least if we tempted to say, hey, I'm going to call the cops up on this, don't let the people know that you're calling the cops. Call them up because you want them to get caught at what they're doing. If they're abusing a child, being rough with them out in public, if that's how they're treating their kids, out in public, what's going on behind closed doors? So you might get upset about stuff like this that really upsets me, or there might be other things that make you upset, like relationships and relationships relationships where let's see, maybe somebody's lying to you in a like a relationship, and this can be any relationships, like with loved ones, like a boyfriend girlfriend, or maybe you're not even to the boyfriend girlfriend stage, where maybe they've lied, maybe they deceived you, maybe they cheated on you, and maybe they passed rumors and gossiping about you and spread it around, and told their friends about some things that they weren't supposed to know, because this does happen in relationships where men and girls, women can be guilty of the same stuff, so not just men could go around and tell their private stuff out to their family or friends. And I have to say, Starlight has been guilty of some stuff herself, so that was some lessons that I had to learn, but I was really trying to get help. I wasn't really out there like, just trying to spread that stuff around, just to be evil. I was just trying to get help. So there is a difference, whether you're trying to go get help and you're talking to somebody about your problems, so that is different than going out and just, or talking ugly about somebody that you're going out with, or telling people about things that nobody knows about, which is secret, like telling people about embarrassing things. So that is different, where you could, especially these days with the cell phones and the computers, where now you got to protect yourself more than ever, because I do know somebody, and he's very smart, is because what he does is that he doesn't communicate with anybody on, even though he's got a YouTube channel, is that he doesn't write back and forth to anybody on, well, that I know of, on Instagram or on Facebook. Maybe he reaches out to some people. It would be more likely to be rare for this person to reach out, because they're protecting themselves from anybody using anything against them or him, so you really do have to protect yourself, because, if that would be proof, that they said something, and like, especially when it comes to the law, so has anybody, I know we all have had somebody in our life where we got upset, maybe somebody stole something from you, like in relationships, maybe somebody cheated on you or broke your heart, all kinds of different things, that could happen, fights and all that, disagreements, where you get really upset, and you, what happens, like, think back, not everybody's like this, I have to say, because Starlight is not like this, is what goes on in your headspace, when somebody really pushes your buttons and it gets you all upset, and it gets those emotions, of anger and frustration and depression, where you're sad and, you can't get this off your mind, and, is not everybody's like this, because Starlight isn't, is, I have thought some things in my past, Starlight got cheated on by a man long time ago, that he just went with one girl after another and was just playing the field, with different females, and Starlight didn't have a car, but she wasn't stupid. I ran around town spying on this man and catching him and stuff. It's just so crazy with the stuff that Starlight did, to, do investigations on foot with a baby in a stroller, running around like a crazy woman, trying to figure out what is up with this man. How come he didn't want me, like, to be with me out in public, And but I finally figured it out because he was messing around. He didn't want anybody to see me out in public with him, because then, the other girl, she would have found out. So that man, though, when I was really young, I was like, man, I want to, he really hurt me. I believed him. I trusted him. I gave my energy, that sexual energy. And it's not that. It's, like, it's very powerful when this happens to you, and that's why, it's so good to not hurry up and jump with somebody and hurry up and have sex with them, because you don't know these people, like being so quick to jump in and do that kind of stuff, because there are men and women that do. They have more than one partner. They go from one to another, just they're going through a phase in their life or whatever that they and it is kind of strange. But so when I went through this heartbreak of, all the running around and chasing him and trying to spy on him without a car. He had a car, where he could easily go around and drive here and there, where I knew his hangouts and stuff. So I used to run around through shortcuts on foot with my daughter, and my daughter was in a stroller, and I'm running, trying to spy on him. It was ridiculous. But I was trying to protect myself from being hurt. And, I put a lot of miles on that stroller. I have to laugh, I'm looking at myself, when I was younger. But I wanted to pay him back. I wouldn't have hurt him. But, Starlight had some strange, crazy imaginations, what I wanted to do to him. And I had brothers that said, hey, sis, if anybody, I was going to really say the naughty word, if anybody messes with you, Starlight, you tell us and we'll come and help you out, So, because of my brothers let me know is, hey, if anything, of course they meant if they, if I was being abused by someone, they just wanted to fight somebody. It was not so much about protecting me. It was just looking for a good fight somewhere. But, and I thought about that. I'm like, and I've had other people tell me the same thing, hey, if anybody, they got to meet me and they really liked me, and they're like, hey, if you ever need anybody, I don't mess around. I'm an Italian person. I will come and help you out, So I've had people that said, hey, Starlight, if you need help, I'll come and kick some butt, or I'll help you out. So my imagination was kind of going out there a little bit, and I'm thinking, how can I pay him back without hurting him? And in the area that I used to live, they used to have one of these wooden things that it's what they used to do long time ago. If you did some sin in town, if you did something naughty, then they would put your head and your hands and close up the wood and close it up so you were stuck there, bent over. I don't know if they spanked anybody that way. That would have been a good way of pinning them down and giving them the nice what for. Yeah. But, there's days where they used to throw fruit at them or something like that, or do something where they couldn't get away. And I don't know what else they did with those things. But where I used to live in Johnstown, New York, is that they had one of those on the corner of the park that I used to bring my daughter to all the time. And I thought, I think I spent too many hours sitting in that park looking at that thing, thinking, man, if I could find somebody to get a hold of this guy that has been, doing this, hurting me like this, is I would actually have him, get a hold of the guy and take all of his clothes off and just put him in that wooden thing. Of course, it probably wasn't, they probably already had that baby locked up, but there's ways of breaking things, like chains and stuff. Get a chain cutter or whatever. Starlight's so naughty. All I wanted to do is get him in there at nighttime, lock him up in that baby, and he's bare butt naked, and just humiliate him out in public like that. Just leave him there. Of course, I make sure he's not going to die or anything. It's not going to be bad heat. But just put him out there, and then in the morning when, people wake up and they start driving around, they'll see his naked ass out in there. But how many, I know you guys, some of you are probably like, Starlight, that's really naughty, but he's not getting hurt, you know. It's just like, man, don't mess with me, with my heart, and lie to me and deceive me, and because that we get a little. I have not been like that ever since. That was my only time that I've ever kind of fantasized about doing something wrong to somebody. How many people would admit this on YouTube? Yeah, I wanted to, yeah. Of course, some of you guys or girls might be like, that's nothing, Starlet. You wouldn't believe the things I thought about doing to this guy or girl. And, maybe even your own family members or even a person that you thought was your friend where you want to get even. So, how many of you wanted to get even with someone? Oh my, there's too many hands to count. I mean, raise your hand if you wanted to get even with, that would help. Raise your hand if you, ever thought about, or was planning to, or maybe you actually went right, did something. Maybe you actually was a person that planned it and actually did do something, so how many of you have thought about like revenge? I'm gonna freaking get your ass, There's lots of hands, or thought about it, planned it, fantasized like Starlight did. I was trying to picture what his ass would look like, with his hands and his head locked in there. But that's what this video is about. Is as I matured and got older, I was really young. My daughter was only like 3 years old, and being a mom, a single mom, the one thing that I was really good at is I didn't want my kids to see me with Tom, Dick, and Harry, because, I wasn't with her daddy anymore. He got in jail. I broke up with him, and I didn't want my kids to just see me with a different guy all the time. So it really frustrated me so much because, I was hoping to find a daddy figure, for my daughter. So, women and men go through that, the ones that really want to protect their kids. So it's really important, when moms and dads have little kids, is really be thoughtful of, what are you teaching your kids as far as relationships go. And that's not what I'm here to talk about right now, but I just want to throw that's a freebie. That's a freebie. You do gotta, think about what are you teaching your kids. Hey, it's okay to have many men and many women all at once, one relationship after another. And it isn't okay, but you're going to do what you want to do anyway. I can't stop any of you. You got a free will. God gave us all a free will, and later on that stuff comes back to get us, it bites us in the end, So anyway, it's this video is really about people that want a revenge or thought about it. Maybe somebody did some horrible stuff on like a Facebook, social media, where they might have, put some posters or pictures of you, or even through cell phones, which I know a lot of teenagers go through that, where boys a lot of times will try to talk girls into sending nude pictures, and there's lots of movies out there where teenagers have fallen for this, and it just destroyed their reputation, and it just, the embarrassment of what they went through, being plastered all over like that, and having their nude pictures where they thought they were safe. They didn't think they were going to get caught. They weren't thinking right, So, and then you want a revenge. So anyway, with this topic, is what I'm here to tell you is that when I got mature and older, is, of course, I'm just going to let you know, I was probably about, my daughter was probably younger than that, because now that I think about it, I was probably about 19 when I wanted revenge. Urgh. What can I do? You really hurt me. I'm freaking hurting right now. What can I do to pay your ass back, for what you've done to me? And really what the Bible says is to, this is not always easy though, is to, we got to keep our hearts right with no matter who they are. It could be your mom, maybe she was really rude to you when you were growing up, and maybe she beat you, or your dad did, and it doesn't mean that we gotta spend time with these people, but you really gotta, really you need to get healed from whatever went on and understand that. And this is hard for people to understand, is that when somebody hurts us, maybe they broke your heart, which is very painful, lying, no matter what it is that they did, it's all painful. It's just different types of emotions that pop up when that happens to you, and a lot of times we don't know how to deal with those emotions, and girls are always been told, like they're the crybabies, and boys, guys, it's okay to, have those emotions, and even cry about some pain, when your heart gets broken. So, some people have gotten brought up, like I was saying, I seen how rough a man was treating his little boy, and he fell down on the, the pavement and hurt his knee. And I was sitting on a bench writing my book, and I couldn't see it, but I can hear it. And just knowing what the father was, how he was being rough with his kid and how he picked him up. And, it's like, he's not allowed to fall down and get hurt, and he was just being an blank. Starlight, and Starlight does not like that stuff at all, because then it makes me wonder, what is going on in the home. And then I'm observing everything, how the mother was responding, because the mother was there. She acted like she never even seen it, she acted like she didn't even notice it. And I'm thinking, oh boy, so when it comes to people that hurt us, we want to get revenge. It does say in the Bible that revenge is the Lord's, so it's not our place to get even with those people, even though Starlight thought about some crazy stuff when she was younger, like, ha ha ha, now who's laughing, And believe it or not, I got to throw this in here. Later on, like years later, that guy that was doing all this stuff to Starlight for a while when she was younger, is that I couldn't believe years later, he tried to befriend me on Facebook. What do you think this Starlight did? No, we're not, we're not going to be friends. No, you think you're going to come. And then I seen him out in public. I'm like, ew, it is so weird. Sometimes we might have liked somebody when we were younger. And, not that he was that attracted in the first place, but a lot of times, I've met many men from the past that I either had I was flirting with, or was, thought they were cute, where years later I'm thinking, man, I am so glad I actually never went out with you, because later on I was like, wow, they just, gross, and some of you probably know some men or women that you're like, yeah, man, I almost went with this girl, and man, I always wanted her, but she acted like, she didn't care about me, I wasn't good enough, and that's why it doesn't matter, you got to love yourself in life. And if people have hurt you, either in the past or recently, or you might be going through something now, is please keep your heart right with those people. Don't run away from those emotions that pop up, because, you need to get healed. God actually does things like this. God will use people like that in our life. And it sounds crazy when I say this, is because we have things that we need to heal from, and lessons that we got to learn. And, like, say if, somebody's not being honest with you, and they're making promises that they don't keep, and you believe them, you trust them, and you put your heart out to them, and they say, hey, you're not ready to go out with me yet, or, you got to do this, and then, you do all these things that they want you to do, and it's all about them. It's never been anything about you, so this is where you got to realize, and God will have these things happen to you, and it's almost like God, like uses those people, and where the more you are with that person, and God does different things to us through these people, and where finally, where like, I've had enough, I can't deal with this anymore. And that's why these full moons and the eclipses are so important, that it will really, it definitely happen to me. It's very powerful. Yesterday, with the day before, see, it's funny, the day before the full moon, I was drained. This morning, I woke up like fully charged and like, yes, I am ready. Whatever's coming out to me today, I am ready to, man, I feel so powerful. But yesterday, nope, Starlight wasn't feeling so powerful at all. So because those full moons, the pink full moon in Scorpio is very powerful, and those are going to be where it might bring up things in your life where you didn't know about something. Somebody's got a secret, somebody's been doing something behind your back, and you're gonna find out through these eclipses or full moons, and they're like, I didn't know this, or you might have known something, but you didn't. You really just kept on letting these people do certain things to you, and you hoping that they would change, or maybe you could change their ways or something like that. And that's what happens a lot of times, that we're but it says a lot about who we are, because we're not really loving ourselves. And that's what God wants us, is to, it shouldn't be about all what they want, in a relationship. What do you want in a relationship? And my leg hurts, man. When I wear sneakers, it's really tough for Starlight, and I lasted longer than normal, because normally after so many minutes wearing sneakers, my foot really hurts. Hey, I went all the way around the circle, So as far as getting revenge on anybody is, you got to keep your heart right. Stay away from those people. Let them go. I can't tell you what to do. I can try to teach you on, if they're just keep on hurting you, and you keep on coming back for more, and they keep on hurting you, and you keep on coming back for more, well, then you deserve it, because you're not learning what God wants you to learn. You're playing a blind eye on this stuff, and and that's why this stuff keeps on happening, and you keep on repeating the same stuff over and over again. And I'm talking by experience. This is not by reading it in a book anywhere. It's by living it. So, if you keep on going back to the same stuff, even women that get beaten by men, they're the guy, believe me, Starlight knows what this is like. I taught my daughter at a young age, when she was younger, is, once a man starts beating you, you got to get out of that relationship, because they will still keep on beating you. You keep on going back to it. And, so my daughter was smart when she was younger, is, she left those kind of situations, if she was being hurt by someone. She didn't stay around, because she listened to her mom. Mom gave her good advice to, that they're gonna, and they do. And that goes for even women. There's women that beat on men, and some of you might be thinking, how is that possible? A woman beating him, he must be a wimp. You'd be surprised. There's some tough girls out there, they could be, especially if they're drinking or on drugs or something like that. You never know what they're capable of doing, and that's how they get strong that way. So, as far as, being hurt by people, and it's how you respond, because, what if you respond like a girl hits you and then you hit them back? Well, guess what? Now they can call the cops on you, and you left a mark where they didn't leave a mark on you. Well, your ass is in trouble now, So it is so important to, be cautious of how you react. And like I said, revenge is the Lord, saith God, so we shouldn't try to pay these people back. Is the best thing to do is just say, you know what? I'm learning my lesson today. I'm not going to play this game anymore. And, keep your heart right with those people, and realize that, God just wanted you to learn a lesson. And yes, it's painful, but that's how we learn, is that we learn because it's painful, and we will remember it. Because God wants, look at this is so beautiful. My mother would love this. My mother loves yellow. But, so we go through pain like that in our life, even when we were kids, even, being abused, is that to learn not to do that with your kids when you get older. Did you get abused when you were a kid, and then later on, did you think that was the right way and abused your own? So that does happen, where kids like, hey, that's how you train up your kids, is to beat them because, hey, that's what my parents did. And so those are lessons. That's why we went through that pain, was to learn not to do that. How did you feel? Did you feel loved, when you were being beaten? I hope not, because that's not love. That's not how God has been with me. God is very patient. God, with these eclipses, I'm sorry, this video is going to be long, but with these eclipses, what happens is, what I'm learning all on my own without anybody saying anything to me or teaching, I'm learning it on my own, is last night I was snuggling in my backseat of the car with the universe and my angels, and I was like giving them a beautiful spiritual hug because of this full moon, and how free I feel because now I put an end to somebody not respecting me, not being honest with me. They always want it their way, they wouldn't even listen to me or whatever, or, while they listen to me just to learn about me, to know how to manipulate me. But with that is that you have to, sorry, I got a little distracted here. There's some people out here, is when it comes to relationships, is to learn your lesson. What is God trying to teach you and show you as far as that relationship goes? I hope I'm not going in circles here. Because that's what you will do, is you'll go around in circles. Yeah, you will. You'll go around in circles and keep on going back for that, abuse or the lies. And you got to really put an end to it and say, you know what? I thought I needed you. I thought you were the one. But you know what? It's a lesson to me to realize that, you know what? I need to let you go. And that's why I was given the universe. That's what I was talking about, is the universe giving a hug, is because God isn't beating Starlight to learn my lessons here. There's a force out there that believes by forcing you to do something, that's the way to do. No, that's not what God has been doing in my life, the universe. God has been very patient with Starlight. So with these eclipses and full moons, it's like, if I have the fear in my life, it's layer after layer or level after level, that God's like, okay, this eclipse is going to help you to take some of that out of your body, out of your aura, out of your being, And so then now, I won't fear as much as I did the last time there was an eclipse or a full moon. And then the next full moon, I'll even, it will take another layer of fear or whatever it is that I'm dealing with. I'm just going to use fear. But we all have these negative things that we're dealing with in our life. Maybe you don't think you're worthy enough of love, where God's like showing you that you are worthy of love. You don't have to settle for less than what, don't settle for that guy that's not gonna, all those things that you desire in him, because that's not the one that God really truly has for you. So we gotta be kind, and it says also in the Bible about kill them with kindness. So don't be revengeful like Starlight was thinking about when she was younger, even though that would have been a funny thing. It wouldn't have hurt the person. But God wants to, to kill them with kindness. And pray for those people, that says to pray for, to love your enemies, and I'm not saying that I have any enemies. I don't have any enemies, but there's people that I might be dealing with, but I don't consider them an enemy. I pray for them. That I'm like, universe, and I did this for the last few days, is universe, please, help this person to heal, and the other people that are involved. I'm like, I pray that you help them to wake up to what is really going on. Help them be aware of what this person is doing so that they will learn a lesson, because I learned a lesson and now I feel good. I feel good because, I was going the wrong direction, chasing the wrong one. And, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that we have the full moons, the eclipse and all that stuff that actually takes those layers of fear and doubt and, help us to love ourselves even more than what we did before. So I know this video is getting long. So really, don't be trying to pay them back. I get thoughts. I'm like, hey, I know where you live. Not that I know where this person lives, but there's times that we get thoughts. Those thoughts are not your own. So don't go along and believe those thoughts in your head that says, if I can prove what they did, and because some people, they make a lot of money, and they got to really protect themselves with how they treat people out in society, because how the famous people are, where, like with, say if a famous Hollywood star, a male, goes out with a sexy female, you hear it all the time where these females will say, he raped me. Not saying that she didn't get raped, because that does happen, because there's a miscommunication a lot of times, and the way a man thinks is not the way a woman thinks. I just had a man not too long ago, just because of the clothes I was wearing. Sometimes that's what men think, is that, hey, you're wearing those clothes. No, it's you're weak in that area, that you cannot, you're weak in that area, and you're trying to blame it on me for the clothing I wear. There's nothing wrong with the clothing. I wasn't wearing a bikini. I was wearing a shorts and a top. It wasn't nothing that sexy, but it's not me that's the problem. It's the person that cannot handle seeing a woman like that, that it's not me wearing the clothes. So we have to be careful of those thoughts that pop in our head, because those thoughts are not our own. And you don't want those thoughts to control every action that you do and say, hey, it's because the way she was wearing her clothes. That's no excuse for a man to rape a girl either. Not saying that this man was going to rape Starlight. It's just that that's not an excuse for men to rape women anyway. So we do have to be careful on how we respond and react to other people. Man, I'm looking all over for that thing. I can't find it. So understand that God is just, God has things happen to us. God doesn't force, and that's what I'm trying to say, is that God has not been forcing me. If you don't do certain things, God will make certain things happen where it forces you to get out of situations, and it is painful, but then, hey, it worked. But there is a force out there that believes that you ought to get beaten and forced to be made to do certain things. That's not the love of God that I know of. That sounds more like the way the devil would work, is to beat you, into submission. And we don't have to beat people into submission, so nothing good happens by forcing people in that kind of manner, So anyway, back to the tracks, is I do love you so much, and I gotta get back in the shade. Whew. I really hope you get a lot of help. Is pray for those people. Don't wish evil. I'm serious. I've known people, relatives in the past that was they didn't get their own way. They wanted their money. They didn't have any money, and if they didn't get money, they actually did prayers, and it's like a form of witchcraft. Witchcraft or black magic is putting spells, evil spells, like, hey, if I don't get my way with you, you don't give me what I want, then I'm gonna pray that something evil is gonna happen to you. No, because that stuff is powerful. Yes, black magic can work. I got some crazy stories on my YouTube channel about somebody putting spells on Starlight. So that stuff does exist, and you can protect yourself from that. But if you're wishing evil to, there's rules about black magic and witchcraft. And I believe if you put a spell on, and there's some people I know right now, their health has gone down the tubes right now, but throughout their whole life, they've tried to do black magic to people. You think that stuff isn't going to come back and hit you one day? It's going to come back and hit you one day, because that's putting, wishing evil to come on people because you desire their money, or you desire, to control them or whatever, that stuff is going to come back at you. And I think it's like seven folds, whatever you do to somebody else is going to come back, seven folds onto you. So be kind to those people. Just, I mean, not that you have to be kind to them, but really just walk away, do the right thing and walk away. Don't like message them, don't spy on them, because, just let it go. I got a message this morning. It's like, let it go, Starlight. Okay, I'm going to just let that go. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to go forward, not backwards. So have that time, that you need to, like I do guided meditations, like to help me out through if I'm hurt by somebody that's hurt me or deceived me. So those are ways that you can help yourself. And Starlight loves taking, if I could take a bubble bath right now, those are ways that Starlight, but really you can ask the universe or God to help you with those emotions. And don't try to run away from those emotions. Try to face them, and ask yourself, what are you feeling? And they're only going to be there temporarily. So don't believe that they're going to be there forever. So you don't want to run, and that's a part of this full moon right now, is you don't want to run away from those emotions that do pop up, and pray for those people. Do the right thing like Starlight has. I prayed for that person that has hurt me and deceived me and lied to me. I don't wish any evil on that person. I want the best for that person. The best for that person. I want them to get right with themselves and get right with God. And that is how we should be. And that's why there's a war outside of us, is because there is a war within us, where we want to take revenge and we want to hurt somebody back. And that's why that war out there is happening, is like, oh, you did this to me, I'm going to do something to you. That is not God's way. So anyway, I do love all of you. So kill them with kindness. Say, hey, I love you, pray for them, pray for those people that hurt you, pray that God, you'd be surprised, that's the best way. They say kill them with kindness. I've had to deal with that before when I was going to church, kill them with kindness. They do something, thank you, universe, thank you for having that person, offend me that way, thank you, because it's like a reversal. Instead of, getting upset and mad and causing a lot of stress in your life and your heart space, and it causes problems with you. Later on, you could end up having heart attacks because you weren't dealing with stuff in the right way. You were letting it get to you, and you're getting all bothered by these people and letting it, hurt you in ways that you're not even aware of. So anyway, I do love all of you. This is Starlight. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And also you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. I had so many other videos that I wanted to make, but you can push the notification bell. That way you do not miss any videos. I'm gonna still look out here because there's something out here. I didn't find it yet. So Starlight's gonna be like treasure searching. Where did that lady take that picture? There's something out here. I haven't found it. But anyway, I hope you have fun. You can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I do love you. I do. So make sure, instead of, letting that hit your heart space and, where it affects you, where you affect other people because you're upset and you're angry, and then you spread that energy around to other people because they can sense that. You need to get healed from those things, and they need to get healed. The person abusing you, they need help. That person lying to you, they need help. They need love. They need, they don't need, where, sometimes we feed them power when we get upset and angry and we charge back because now you're feeding them. So don't feed them like that. Take your power back away and don't give them any more power. And that's by ignoring them. Stay away from them. Don't, avoid them at all costs. Anyway, I do love you. This is Starlight. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.